This here is from The Guardian. Cassie Ventura's friend testifies Sean Diddy Combs dangled her from a balcony. Let's see what we got now. A woman testified Wednesday in Sean Diddy Combs' federal racketeering conspiracy and not safe for work trial that the hip-hop mogul dangled her from the balcony of a 17th floor apartment in 2016. Brianna Bangolan, a longtime friend of Combs' former girlfriend, singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura, told jurors in Manhattan federal court that in September 2016, Combs showed up unannounced one morning at Ventura's Los Angeles apartment where she was staying at the time and began banging on the door. Brianna testified at the time Ventura was asleep in her bedroom. She told the court that in an effort to act casual, she went to the apartment's balcony. Combs then entered the apartment, she said, telling the court that he then came up to her from behind, lifted her up, and placed her on top of the balcony's rail. Brianna testified that Combs then told her several times, "You know what the F you did," but said she was not aware of what he was referring to. For a split second, I was thinking about if I was going to fall, but for the most part, he was yelling at me, so I was trying to answer him, Brianna, 33, told the jury. She alleged that Combs held her on top of the balcony's rail for about 10 to 15 seconds before pulling her down and throwing her onto the balcony furniture. In court on Wednesday, jurors were shown photos Brianna took that day which depicted bruises she said she suffered as a result of the incident, as well as her wearing a neck brace. They then give some details about the trial. I guess that's about what they got for the main part of the article about this woman being dangled from the balcony. But I mean, we see Combs roughing up his girlfriend Cassie in the hallway, so this isn't so unbelievable. This is kind of more related to his actions. So I'm of the opinion he probably did something. Probably not everything he's accused of, but something. And, the freak-off stuff doesn't necessarily relate to him roughing up Cassie in the hallway, but this does. So the video of him roughing up Cassie is kind of evidence that he probably did this. They're related. They then mention the freak-offs and say he coerced women into taking part and also hired male sex workers, and I think he coerced some of them too. Combs' lawyers acknowledge he's got a history of DV, but argue that women took part in freak-offs consensually. Right, that's what I'm saying. They're two separate things. So the DV thing's one, but the freak-offs is a little bit different, and that's got to be proven it's not consensual. But like I said, seems like he's guilty of some things. That's fair to say at this point. And although the two aren't directly related, it does show a personality trait and maybe a power trip or something like that. But in the end, gotta see evidence for the individual things that are accused. They then say that she'll come back to the stand one more time, and that he could face life in prison if convicted. That would probably make some headlines too. Anyway, if you're not subscribed here, doing all things pop culture, waiting for Day Drinker, Blake Lively, Meghan Markle, whatever comes up, if you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.